The rain fell hard that night, the kind that blurred the city lights and made the world feel smaller, lonelier, and unbearably heavy. Beneath a flickering street lamp near an empty bus stop, a young girl stood trembling, soaked to the bone, tears mixing with rain as her small hands pressed tightly against her ears. She could not hear the thunder cracking above her, but she felt it deep inside her chest, a violent shaking that matched the storm raging in her heart. Most people rushed past without looking, their coats pulled tight, unaware that in that exact moment, a single kind act could mean the difference between life and death. Before the story goes any further, take a moment to pause. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet power of doing good when no one is watching, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. That rainy evening in Chicago was supposed to be ordinary for Michael Carter, a 34-year-old delivery driver who had learned to survive on little and expect even less. Life had worn him down in slow, unremarkable ways. He had grown up in a small town in Ohio, raised by a mother who worked double shifts and prayed every night that her son would escape the cycle of hardship. Michael tried. He really did. But after his mother passed away unexpectedly, the world seemed to close in on him. Bills piled up, relationships faded, and dreams quietly slipped away. By the time he moved to Chicago, he carried more disappointment than hope, and he had learned to keep his eyes down and his heart guarded. That night, Michael's delivery route took longer than usual. Traffic snarled, rain flooded the streets, and exhaustion pressed heavily on his shoulders. He wanted nothing more than to go home, eat something warm, and forget the day. As he pulled his van over near the bus stop to check his phone, he noticed the girl standing alone. At first, he almost drove away. People in cities learn quickly not to get involved, but something about her posture stopped him. She looked impossibly small against the storm, her shoulders shaking, her backpack hanging loosely from one arm as if she had forgotten it was there. Michael stepped out into the rain, his shoes instantly soaking through. As he got closer, he realized the girl wasn't reacting to the honking cars or the thunder overhead. Her eyes were wide, unfocused, fixed on something only she could see. That was when he noticed the small hearing aid lying broken on the wet pavement near her feet. Understanding hit him slowly, then all at once. She was deaf, alone, and terrified. The girl's name was Emily Anderson, though Michael would not learn that until much later. She was 16 years old, the only daughter of Robert Anderson, a powerful technology CEO known across the country for his brilliance, discipline, and emotional distance. From the outside, Emily's life looked perfect. Private schools, a beautiful home, access to the best doctors and therapists money could buy. But wealth had never protected her from loneliness. Her mother had died when Emily was 10, and after that, silence filled the house in ways that went far beyond her inability to hear. Her father loved her, but he did not know how to reach her, and work became his refuge from grief. Earlier that day, Emily had run away after yet another misunderstanding with her father. She had tried to explain how isolated she felt, how invisible she was even in her own home, but frustration turned into anger, and anger into distance. When she left the house, she only meant to clear her head. She never planned to be caught in a storm, stranded, with her hearing aid shattered and her courage dissolving under the rain. Michael approached her slowly, careful not to startle her. He remembered a few basic signs he had learned years ago from a coworker's brother. They were rusty and imperfect, but they were all he had. He gently waved his hand within her line of sight and pointed to himself, then offered a small, reassuring smile. Emily flinched at first, fear written clearly across her face, but something in his eyes made her hesitate instead of run. He crouched down, picked up the broken hearing aid, and shook his head gently to show he understood it was not working. The rain continued to pour as Michael did the only thing he could think of. He took off his jacket and carefully draped it over Emily's shoulders, shielding her from the cold. Then he pointed toward his van, miming warmth and safety. He expected resistance. Instead, Emily hesitated for a long moment, then slowly nodded. Trust, especially for someone who lived in silence, did not come easily. But desperation has a way of opening doors fear tries to keep closed. Inside the van, the heater blasted warm air as Michael handed Emily a bottle of water and a protein bar. He spoke softly even though he knew she could not hear him, his voice more for himself than for her. Emily's hands shook as she drank, her breathing gradually slowing. Michael grabbed a notepad and pen from his glove compartment and wrote simple words, asking if she was lost, if she had family, if she was hurt. Emily stared at the page for a long time before writing back, her letters uneven from cold and emotion. She explained that she was deaf, that her phone had died, that she did not know where to go, and that she was very afraid. As Michael read her words, something inside him shifted. He saw not a stranger, not a problem, but a child standing at the edge of despair. He wrote again, telling her she was safe, that he would help her. He asked for a name. When she wrote Emily, he smiled and nodded, as if committing it to memory mattered. And it did. What Michael did not know was how close Emily had been to giving up entirely. Alone in the rain, trapped in silence, feeling unwanted even by the one person who was supposed to protect her, her thoughts had turned dark. The storm outside matched the one inside her mind. Michael's simple act of stopping, of seeing her, interrupted a dangerous spiral that might have ended very differently. Michael drove Emily to the nearest police station, staying with her the entire time. He made sure she understood every step, using gestures, writing, and patience. When the police contacted her father, panic rippled through the system of power and privilege Robert Anderson controlled so effortlessly in business, but not in his own home. He arrived at the station pale and shaken, his expensive suit soaked from the rain he barely noticed. The moment Robert saw Emily, wrapped in a stranger's jacket, sitting quietly but safely, something inside him broke open. He rushed to her side, guilt and relief colliding in his chest. Emily looked up at her father, tears filling her eyes again, but this time they were different. They were tears of survival, of being found. Robert turned to Michael, gratitude overwhelming his usual reserve. He shook Michael's hand firmly, holding on longer than necessary, as if afraid letting go would undo the miracle of the night. Michael tried to brush it off, insisting anyone would have done the same, but deep down he knew that wasn't true. Many had passed Emily by. He was the one who stopped. In the weeks that followed, the impact of that night continued to unfold. Robert insisted on staying in touch, not out of obligation but out of genuine respect. He learned about Michael's life, his struggles, his quiet strength. What began as gratitude turned into opportunity. Robert offered Michael a stable job within his company, not as charity, but as recognition of character. Michael accepted hesitantly, afraid to hope too much, but determined to honor the chance he had been given. Emily, meanwhile, began to heal in ways no therapy session ever could. She started attending a new school with a strong program for deaf students. Her father learned sign language, slowly and awkwardly at first, but with dedication. The silence that once separated them began to fill with understanding, and through it all, Emily never forgot the man who had seen her when she felt invisible. Michael's life changed, but not because of money or status. It changed because he remembered who he was at his core, a good man, a kind man, someone capable of making a difference simply by choosing compassion over convenience. The weight he had carried for years began to lift, replaced by a quiet pride he had never known. Just before this story ends, we have a special request for you. Please take a moment to comment below and share what this story made you feel, or a moment when kindness changed your life. Your words might inspire someone who is silently struggling right now. Years later, on a calm spring afternoon, Michael attended Emily's high school graduation. He sat in the crowd as she walked across the stage, confident and smiling, her future wide open. When she spotted him, she signed "Thank you," her hands moving gracefully, her eyes shining with gratitude and love. Michael felt tears well up unashamed. He had not saved her life in some dramatic, heroic way. He had simply stopped. He had cared. And sometimes That is enough to change everything. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of kindness and the importance of seeing those who feel unseen, please like this video, share it, and leave a heartfelt comment. Your engagement helps spread hope, one story at a time.